evening. The snow has abated. The snow's gone. The snow is gone. It's literally gone. I mean, it's almost completely gone the day after. That's the way snowstorms are up here in New York now, right, Rob?
Yeah. It was an absolute catastrophe before it even started. Work closed. I didn't even need my windshield wipers on. And then a little bit of snow. And now it's gone.
I know. It was like a snow globe, too. It was really, really nice. It was enough to warrant a day off, for sure. But
that's only because of the previous stuff. We had power lines down from last week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We were in a precarious position.
The ground was really wet, too. You know, it was a heavy snow. I mean, there was trees and everything, even in the park today. You know?
Yeah.
A bunch of trees down.
Yeah. And that's just because of the weight of the snow.
Yeah. I lost power for about like 3 hours yesterday.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't get anything.
Yeah,
I've been very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
Because Lauren and I, yesterday we did a lot of watching stuff. We got up to date with Homeland, so the first 4 episodes of this last season, which I gotta say, man, gave me fucked up dreams.
That show is still on? These are new episodes?
Yeah, they're not as compelling as when Brody was alive.
I've watched maybe 8 minutes of the show.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's not as compelling anymore, but it's very odd. It's very interesting to see how they're taking modern day events that they're inspired by, obviously, and going at it. They have this dead ringer Alex Jones character. His name is Brett O'Keefe. Okay. So a little bit of James O'Keefe, a little bit of, and it's all out, right down to his sweating. He sweats profusely. Okay, so he always has a sweat marks under his arms. He's screaming and all that stuff, and it's just a whole. We can go and get into the imagery some other night on the show, but that was very, very interesting watching those 4 things. But the other thing that we watched was Darkest Hour, the movie that Gary Oldman just got the Academy Award for.
Yeah, you told me today. It's great.
Winston Churchill. Listen, I'm already a huge Winston Churchill fan. We brought him up on this show many times.
I know.
And God bless the man. Thank God for Winston Churchill. What an amazing figure, seriously, for all of his flaws, and his flaws are some of the best things about him, I swear to God. And everybody, I know we have a growing number of people watching in the UK. I'm sure many of you have already seen that, but man, it makes me proud for you. It really does. That's a man who was just swimming in a sea of pussyfooting wimps and just was strong for an entire country. It was amazing. It's amazing.
Was your view on Winston Churchill changed by watching this? No. So I know you're a history guy, so.
Yeah, it's only emboldened.
Okay.
Only emboldened, and Gary Oldman completely disappears into the character like he usually does. He's brilliant.
He is.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
So there's that. I'd like everybody to go check that out. That's for damn sure. But what was the other thing that we did yesterday? Oh, nothing. Just hung out and waited for today. That's pretty much it. And I had a couple of... you want to know something else I wanted to say before we get down to what we're doing tonight? Did you hear that David Chase is in talks right now to create a Sopranos prequel movie?
How? Tony's dead.
It's a prequel. They're going back to the 60s. That I would be interested in.
Oh, well, of course I would see that.
I got this off a Deadline today. Listen to this. David Chase... Oh my God, can you imagine what he would create from the 60s? David Chase is finally ready to return to New Jersey turf of his iconic creation, The Sopranos. New Line has purchased a screenplay, The Many Saints of Newark, the working title for a feature prequel of The Sopranos that is set in the era of Newark riots in the 60s. That was a time when the African Americans and the Italians of Newark were at each other's throats, and amongst the gangsters of each group, those conflicts became especially lethal. So that's going to be pretty interesting. And of course, The Sopranos ran from 99 to 2007. A lot of it is unconfirmed, but I've heard this from more than one place today. My buddy Brian told me about it, and I went out looking for it, and it was on Drudge, actually.
Okay.
So that's very interesting.
Well, that one I would definitely watch.
Yeah.
A theatrical release or another straight to HBO, or do you know?
It sounds theatrical.
Okay.
New Line bought it.
I have my pact that I'm never going to see a movie in the movie theater again.
But you got the Han Solo film coming out in May.
I'm not gonna fucking see that movie.
You're not see it? Not even out of morbid curiosity? You won't even get a meal at Alamo?
Don't put me on the spot. Man, I have to stay true to how much I hated the last movie that I saw, and I swore off movie going.
I gotta say this though.
I know you're gonna buy like 12 tickets, and I'm gonna probably have to go.
You have to.
I know.
Listen, it's even if it's just like watching a train wreck, you got to do it. Just because, I mean, we have to know how bad it's getting. It maybe could be like one of those things where we can laugh our way through it. I have no clue. But did you also hear John Williams has also announced his retirement from scoring?
Oh, really?
I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if Episode 9 is gonna be the last film he does, but I mean that's the last thing.
It's like I was just gonna say the only redeeming part of that last movie was at least the score.
At least you knew it was John Williams.
Yeah.
So it's going to be some kind of an EDM remix soon now. Okay, so what are we doing on tonight's show? Well, Rob is back in studio, obviously, for the Thursday night show, and we have some catching up to do after another snow day. Lots of moving and shaking coming from the office of the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. If you haven't believed in Jeff Sessions... I don't know. It just, whatever. What a load of horse shit. You want to talk about net neutrality and in fast lanes and all that? We pay extra to make sure that we have a supreme connection, and it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
Who the hell is ever going to hold a company or a service of being the best it can be? You know, where does that fire really come from? Who the hell knows? I don't even know where the hell. At least it's only 6:56.
We're back on.
Yeah, we're back on.
Back on.
All right, everybody.
Can't hold us down, man. Come on.
No, nobody will.
No.
Okay, so we were in the middle of it. Thank God we didn't even actually get into the middle of that big discussion I wanted to have. Let's just start. How about we just start off what the hell we're doing and get right into it. The first thing I want to lead off with now is supposed to be in the pre-show, and that is this whole Stormy Daniels thing, which I think is very, very interesting. And I wanted to start off with some ideas that Razor Fist had put on out there, and now we're gonna have to take all of the Sopranos talk and the Snows talk, and I'm gonna have to fuse it together before I upload it to the podcast. That was a good opening. It was chill.
Yeah.
This is what
There's
happens.
plenty of good openings, though.
Yeah.
You always have good openings.
Yeah, well, maybe. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, my friend. But, yeah, you know what? Fuck it.
How do you get on my thing, it says the chat is disabled. What's the deal with that?
It shouldn't be. Oh, you have to go back to the channel. I started a completely new broadcast.
Okay.
It's going to have to happen that way. That's just what's going to happen. And I'm gonna blow past the 7 o'clock opening. I don't care. We're just gonna do things weird. We don't have any guests other than you on tonight, so we don't have to stick to a time. So let's get to this. Now, Razor Fist had published a thread on Twitter about the Stormy Daniels thing. She's the porn star who was trying to set up a retirement fund through the media she's getting about this hookup she had with Donald Trump in 2006. Apparently, I don't know, which I can understand because it's one thing to be an aging writer or a director or an accountant or a golfer. You know, your career can evolve nicely. It can go different ways. It's another thing when you're aging and your job is letting people watch you do anal.
Right.
You know, there's definitely a shorter shelf life on that career.
Yeah, the retirement home for that is not so pretty.
Yeah. You don't want that, you know. You're working the day shift at the strip club, you know. That's
yeah. Wednesday afternoons.
You can't unsee that.
Special on track marks.
So now I was asking myself when all this stuff was coming out, and it continues to be harped on whenever it's necessary, whenever there needs to be some time filled on the media, on the television and elsewhere. And I was saying, is the left actually trying to promote Stormy Daniels' doggy style videos or something? I mean, what is this? Is it a crime now to have sex with a porn star? And
certainly not from the left's perspective.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're the party of no lines, no boundaries, no genders. Yet they're trying to use a pre-presidential sexual fling as, I guess, a reason to vote for Democrats. I don't understand that at all. But in either case, they They do their thing. They do their thing. But I guess if your party platform is to pursue your lesser urges proudly, then you can never be called a hypocrite. And I guess that's what it all comes down to, because they like. I'll get around to what somebody said. You know, you can never be called a hypocrite when people find out you're a scumbag. And if Donald Trump cheated on Melania in 2006, that is a scumbag move. But his fidelity issues, I hate to say it, just like Bill Clinton's fidelity issues, have nothing to do with the ability to govern constitutionally. Now, Clinton has another kind of problem. We're going into the realm of rape and sexual assault.
Right, multiple accusers over many years.
That's another thing altogether. But still, I mean, Clinton's legal problems during his administration was perjury.
Right.
I don't even give a shit about someone getting an extramarital blowjob when they're in office. That's their own problem.
Right.
Okay? I'm not looking to whoever is sitting behind the Resolute desk to be a father figure to my kids.
Right. I don't think we're judging Kennedy on his transgressions.
Absolutely not. Regard. And that's another thing too. It just, of course, Clinton's issues, like I said before, they go into another kind of arena of assault. But otherwise, keep my taxes low, deregulate the private sector, and let parents and congregations worry about how they raise their kids and morality and all that stuff. That's not a president's job. And to be honest, Donald Trump isn't the first boorish president that we've had, and we've survived just fine.
Absolutely.
Okay? He's not the first bore to ever get into office. Now, here's a short thread that Razor Fist put out there that I wanted to talk about. I'm just going to read it. He said, so I've recently researched this abject farce more in depth. Rant thread coming. And then, of course, it links to this Yahoo article about how Stormy Daniels regretted alleged the alleged Trump affair and felt sorry for Melania. Isn't it funny? I felt so sorry for Melania. I just had to make all this public now. I felt so sorry for her. So back to Razorfist. He says, here's what they want us to believe. Trump fucked a porn star from Wicked Studios. Not the A studio, Vivid Studios, but the B studio. A chubby B-list porn star. Because we know how much the guy who lives in a gold-plated skyscraper loves a silver medal. I thought that was funny. Stormy is a shit witness for a myriad of reasons. Number one, she swore it never happened many times. Number two, she has a political motive. Stormy has made extreme feminist statements in the interviews for years, including one quote, "I stay in porn because women have all the power." He continues. Number three, both porn stars accuse Trump of sexual misconduct. Jessica Drake and Stormy Daniels not only have the above described political motive, but they work for the same company, Wicked. Steve Orenstein, Wicked CEO, donates to the DNC. How coincidental. Razorfist continues. Number four, porn stars make bank by doing one of a few things. Number one, they feature dancing at clubs. Number two, working as an escort. They want us to believe that Trump wanted to cheat on his wife. So instead of banging the countless A-list porn escorts on the East Coast, he flew in two aging porn stars from California. Note, I don't want to gloss over the aging point. Porn stars are usually done by mid-20s. Stormy Daniels was nearly 30 when this supposed encounter occurred. Already largely retired. MILF age in porn terms. Sounds like someone Trump would fly in. Doesn't to me, no. But there's the age thing. This was 2006. Trump was in his 7th decade. Granted, his wife was pregnant, but we don't know if that happened naturally or with medical help. Odds being the odds, it's likely his dick hasn't worked for a decade or more. And number six, and this is a big one, the left, to which Stormy Daniels and Jessica Drake admittedly belong, put lying about sexual allegations on the table as a political tool. Trump's accusers disappeared the day after the election. It was a political maneuver, plain and simple. I'd also like to say not only did his accusers disappear, but we know that Lisa Bloom was out there with a budget of at least $750,000 just to get people to make accusations in October of 2016.
Accusations that they couldn't even keep straight.
Accusations, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and not only that, I mean, we'll get around to that in a little bit too, but especially all those accusations with those women in October 2016, as soon as they were all of these women had all their dirty laundry hung out to dry. They were exposed, but it didn't matter because they were political sacrificial lambs. They were hung out to dry. We dissected their past. We dissected all of their mistakes, whether it be just making mistakes because you were young and searching in fame. These are a lot of they were a lot of reality TV shows, beauty pageant girls, all that stuff, and they were completely hung out to dry in that last leg of the election, and then boom, they're gone. They're gone. Just used, disposed of, and that was it. Because all they needed was the accusations, that actually coming to fruition and getting, a court date, an arraignment.
Right.
That was never it.
And remember their lawyer too.
Which?
Gloria Allred.
Oh, well, that's Lisa Bloom's mother.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. So now I had this one liberal tweet at me saying that it would be illegal, because I asked, is it illegal to have sex with a porn star? This one lib says it would be illegal, political contributions. That would be the crime related to this scandal. Political contributions?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I guess to have an NDA signed with Stormy Daniels and pay her money to just,
He wasn't in politics.
I know. This is from 2006.
This is 10 years before he was...
And it's funny to me because what campaign are they contributing to in drafting an NDA with Stormy Daniels? What campaign does she work for? What are you talking about, political contributions?
Right.
Who is he contributing to? And, of course, this also lends itself to the idea that if the public knew, I guess this person was also trying to say that the $130,000 spent on Stormy Daniels, allegedly, if the public knew that Trump nailed a porn star in 2006, the election results against Hillary Clinton would have been different. that would have been the straw to break the camel's back. A 75 electoral vote straw at that.
Right.
So even though Lisa Bloom was offering to pay, $750,000 to women just to get the accusations out there, I mean, whatever. But the moron on Twitter continued. They also said, plus, it's always fun when the party of family values gets caught with their pants down. It makes the P-tape seem more believable, too.
The make-believe P-tape?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in one tweet, this person engages in this fantastic wishful thinking about campaign contributions. And then they admit that progressives laugh at the idea of family values. Because, of course, if you don't have any family values, you can never be called a hypocrite when you're caught doing something human, like making an error, getting into an affair, having an affair. Things that both conservatives and far-left kooks all do. That's just a human thing. But they like laughing at people who try to give themselves standards and maybe fall short of it.
Right.
But and the other thing that kills me about that is, That's not even something that is just like a party thing. It's more of a regional thing, too. Trump's not an evangelical. He's a New York liberal.
Right.
Always has been.
Right.
Now, he's doing a very conservative job right now, but as far as this goes, if you're a Democrat campaigning for a local office in the Bible Belt, for example, you're going to appeal to people of faith as well. You're going to tell people, I'm a person of faith. This is the way I live my life. We have the same values. Just the way that I approach governance is different. So for them to say, it's just so funny to see the party of family values, get caught with their pants down. This is not a party thing.
Oh, no.
If you're a Democrat trying to get a job in, Kentucky or Missouri, or anywhere, Mississippi, wherever the hell it is, you're going to have to, show people the way you live your life.
Absolutely.
So it's not even but whatever. But if people like this, they need something to fill the void. because there's plenty of voids left to fill. They have Russian collusion. They have the 25th Amendment. They have faithless electors. They tried to get recounts. They had Michael Wolff for a couple of weeks before he embarrassed them all. They have the emoluments bullshit that continues every step of the way. They had the Logan Act they tried to get done with Michael Flynn before they got all the dates wrong. It goes on and on and on. You know what? I hope they stay busy. I hope they continue chasing porn stars and sending CNN reporters to Thailand to dig up Russian hookers in jail.
Amazing.
They're in jail.
I know.
They sent a correspondent, CNN, to Thailand because there was a Russian hooker there that said, if you can get me out of jail, I'll give you dirt on Trump. I'd say the same thing if I was in a Thai jail.
Yeah. In fairness to CNN, maybe they didn't send him over there. It could have been on a green screen.
Oh, actually, that's true.
You know?
That's true. But this brings me to one more point that has to do with the other night, especially the craziness that I just listened to on Twitter before about this Stormy Daniels grasping at straws nonsense. The other night we had Richard Barris on. Okay, great pollster. We were talking about voter complacency. We were talking about illegal voting. And the myth of the blue wave, which, by the way, look at the primary totals from Texas and tell me that there's a blue wave coming down there. That was embarrassing. And also, the Richard Barris highlight is now available on the channel. So in case you missed it. But there was a few comments on there. And a lot of great comments. But I just wanted to take one. Okay, and now keep the tweet that I just told you about in mind, of the person talking about how it makes the P tape seem more reliable, and it was legal contributions, and party of family values. Xander7777 says this: when Democrats start getting indictments dropped on them in 2018, the 2018 midterms will look like a bloodbath. Someone else, Mr. John, I think his name was John Henderson, said the same thing, but also included that Republicans will be swallowed up in this as well. It's going to be good to see all of them go down. Now, regardless of whether or not it's going to be a bipartisan draining, which it definitely will be, because everybody, let me just put it on out there. James Comey is a Republican. Lately, he says that he's unaffiliated, but he made contributions to both McCain and Mitt Romney's campaign, and only lately said he's unaffiliated. He lived the majority of his adult life as a Republican. If James Comey is a Republican, you all best hope that some Republicans are getting taken down in whatever's going on behind the scenes, because this is not about just the Democrat Party. Okay, it's a uniparty here. They all play their roles. Somebody plays the WWE heel role. That's it.
Right.
Somebody's the heel, and that's it. But going back to Xander's point here, saying, just pretty much commenting on the blue wave in general, that when Democrats start getting indictments dropped on them, the 2018 midterms is going to turn into a bloodbath. I would like to just say, you would think that would be the case. But you'd also think that the Democrat Party would have had at least 80% of its constituency flee to the Independent Party or something like that after the DNC leaks of 2016. But they didn't budge. Right. Even after seeing that their primary votes were merely ceremonial. Right. They didn't budge. So I do not underestimate the left's fetish for this kind of abuse. They are masochists through and through. See, anybody who thinks that, some indictments is going to make people not go rush to the voting booths to vote the party line and have some kind of an awakening, it's not going to happen in the rush that we all think it may be. Some people might have the cold water thrown in their face, but I mean, if 2016 didn't do anything, what the hell's going to happen now? So that's that. Let's go. That's it. We're going to come back on the other side of this break, and it'll be time to talk about other things. We will be right back.
You suck!
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. What's new with you? Anyway, how is your sex life?
You just a little chicken.
And together, you and I can rule the galaxy.
You must be kidding, aren't you?
The Jedi turned against me. Don't you turn against me.
You're part of my life. You are everything. I could not go on without you.
Liar!
You are tearing me apart! Why? Why is this happening to you? Why?
You are tuned in to Quite Frankly, where men are made and pussies are destroyed.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!
You know, there's been a lot of talk about North Korea. I've been seeing it in the chat room too, but I wrote it down because I wanted to talk about it at some point. Although a lot of the news coming out is pretty young. Trump to meet Kim Jong-un by May. By May. Actually, this is the top of Drudge right now. Let's just do that real quick. Kim Jong-un extending invitation to meet with Trump, officials say. South Korea is expected to announce Thursday night that North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un is extending an invitation to meet with President Trump, a senior U.S. official revealed to Fox News. South Korean National Security Advisor Chung Eui-yong will also announce an upcoming meeting between South Korean President Moon Jae-in and the North Korean leader, Fox News has learned. There are currently no plans to change U.S.-South Korean military exercises, nor is there a commitment by Kim Jong-un to stop his nuclear testing. Earlier Thursday, President Trump announced that South Korea would be making a major statement about North Korea at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, Fox News confirmed. Well, 7 p.m. was 17 minutes ago. Chung, who met at the White House Thursday with National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, is expected to make the statement in the James Brady press briefing room at the White House. The president made the announcement in his first ever visit to the press briefing room, briefly popping his head into the room to update reporters. Chung and other South Korean officials briefed the White House Thursday on a potential diplomatic opening with North Korea after a year of escalating tensions. Chung told reporters Tuesday that he had received a message from North Korea intended for the United States but did not disclose what it was. The expected announcement comes after hours of consultations at the White House between administration officials and South Korean officials over the recent talks with North Korea. Trump has expressed an openness to the invitation, saying, "We'll see." Always the guy. I'll give you my telephone number. Will you call me? We'll see. You wait a couple of days.
Yeah.
You let him sit on
Standard
ice.
3-day
And then call up. So you want to go out for a drink? Oh yes, absolutely.
Right.
Trump and Kim have had a contentious relationship during the last year as both men dramatically increased the rhetoric against the other amid the backdrop of increased nuclear and missile testing by the North Korean regime. In August, Trump warned Kim that if pressed, the U.S. would unleash fire and fury and frankly power the likes of which the world had never seen before. Well, there's a lot of people out there who say North Korea is not what it seems. North Korea is a CIA outpost, a creation, this and that. And I don't know.
So now we're talking with them. So what changed?
What changed?
What changed? Imagine that Donald Trump's the president and there's peace in a unified Korea,
If there's a denuclearized Korea,
denuclearized. Because I mean, who else? What other boogeyman is there left?
what do you do to that?
You know?
What do you say?
Yeah, that's
What-
gonna be a tough spin, huh?
That's going to be a real tough spin because they're already saying, "Oh, Donald, how dare Donald Trump?" I saw one person tweet in response. It was one of those blue check idiots. Whenever you have a blue check on Twitter, whenever you respond to somebody's tweet, your tweet is like at the top of it because you're verified and all that shit. There was some kind of a tweet not too long ago that there might be some moving and shaking and progress being done with North Korea. And Donald Trump had either retweeted it or tweeted it out himself, I forget. And somebody at the top was saying, "Don't you dare try to take credit for this." Who then? Who
Right.
who would take credit for denuclearizing North Korea after the last 30 years of Republican and Democrat presidents created nuclear
Right.
North Korea? Who?
Right.
I don't know where people are getting at this. They don't want to take credit for the economy. It's not like Barack Obama and all of his economic forecasters were saying that, don't worry, the economy will eventually be back up at 3% production. 3% GDP growth every year soon. No, they were pretty much saying get used to 1.6%.
Right.
This is the new world.
Right.
Why anybody would even give?
Right.
I don't get it.
After he inherited, the stock market, which was going to go down as soon as he got in. 'Cause
Right.
That was Bush's fault.
Absolutely. Then again, you can't spend your way out of shit like that.
Right.
He doubled the debt. That Bush continued to double, and Bush tripled the size of
Well,
the federal government.
Right. Well, I mean, basically, you could say it's a continuation.
Right.
And then before Bush, Clinton, before him, Daddy, and then so.
Oh, it's just unbelievable.
Seems a little different this time around, though.
It does.
You know?
It really does. So that's what but we'll get around to a lot of that stuff. I see that the chat room is doing its thing. I'm telling you, some weird stuff is going on with the channel, man. The viewers, the live numbers, the last two times we've been up, it's markedly down.
Really?
Yeah, and there's no rhyme or reason for it. No rhyme or reason for it whatsoever. In fact, I thought that this would be the live viewership that we would have gotten when we broke the 3,000 subscriber mark. You would think that 10% of your viewers who voluntarily subscribe to the channel,
right,
would get the notifications and they'd come up and they show up and they hang out. You think with 3,000 you'd get 300 viewers.
Right.
We're hovering. We're under the 300 right now. We're at 16,000.
Wow.
So
No, I've mentioned that I've seen channels that have, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And then when they go live, there's 220, people.
Doesn't make sense.
Watching.
Doesn't make sense. But moving on from there, first thing I wanted to bring up is from the conservative treehouse. Okay, I thought this was very interesting. The Jeff Sessions saga continues. Attorney General Jeff Sessions confirms prior appointment of DOJ prosecutor to parallel Inspector General Horowitz, not a special counsel. There has been a great deal of consternation directed toward Attorney General Jeff Sessions surrounding the ongoing FISA abuse scandal and the larger issues of unlawful DOJ and FBI conduct in their political investigation of candidate Donald Trump. It is a matter of great division amid people who follow the details. That said, Attorney General Jeff Sessions revealed last night in an interview with Shannon Bream that he previously appointed a DOJ official to investigate the issues delivered by Chairman Bob Goodlatte, the House Judiciary Committee, prior to receiving the request for a special counsel from Chairman Goodlatte and Trey Gowdy. You can watch this below. Let's see how long. This is 5 minutes
Chairman
long.
Bob Goodlatte and House Oversight Committee Chairman Trey Gowdy both penning a letter to the Attorney General asking for a second special counsel, citing as part of that these so-called FISA abuses. So I asked the Attorney General what he thinks of their request.
Well, I have great respect for Mr. Gowdy and Chairman Goodlatte, and we're going to consider seriously their recommendations. I have appointed a person outside of Washington, many years in the Department of Justice, to look at all the allegations that the House Judiciary Committee members sent to us, and we're conducting that investigation. Also am well aware that we have a responsibility to ensure the integrity of the FISA process.
So this is pretty big here. Pretty big here. Now, here's a transcript. I've appointed a special person outside of Washington, many years in the Department of Justice, to look at all the allegations the House Judiciary Committee members sent to us, and we're conducting that investigation. So, this is here. Now, they continue at the conservative treehouse. Well, there you have it. There is already an appointed person, likely a prosecutor, from outside of Washington in place prior to the recent request for a special counsel by Goodlatte and Gowdy. That was exactly what an objective analysis of the events previously outlined and we previously noted. Attorney General Sessions is noting the existence of an outside prosecutor who has been in place for quite a while, exactly as we thought. All the evidence of this was and is clear if you follow the granular details closely. Here's how we figured it out, and also the reason why no one in Washington, D.C., including Congress and the President, was previously aware. So this is starting to lend to the idea that all of the frustration that President Trump has on the outside with Jeff Sessions may not be kabuki theater. He actually may be frustrated with his progress, but maybe keeping him in the dark on some things is good. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but let's get down to that. Let's see if that shakes out at all. Here's a quote: to look at all the allegations that the House Judiciary Committee sent to us. So that's what he said there. Going on. Here's a few things here. Number one, the DOJ Inspector General Michael Horowitz has an obligation to notify his superiors when she discovers illegal activity or conduct that is likely unlawful. While conducting an internal investigation, the IG cannot sit on knowledge or evidence of likely criminal conduct just because she is conducting an investigation. This is the same reason why Inspector General Horowitz had to inform the special counsel Robert Mueller in July of 2017 of the potentially unlawful conduct of members on his team, Lisa Page and Peter Strzok. Okay? Yeah. So just once again, more confirmation that is where his investigations were leading him. Horowitz had started off with the email investigation, how the email investigation was handled by the FBI, and then all of a sudden he ends up with Strzok and Page. It just goes to show where his investigations are taking him. Number two, the same people under investigation within the IG purview, that's the FBI and the DOJ officials, are transparently cooperating with the Inspector General. That's cooperation in combination with a likelihood of unlawful conduct would require a DOJ official, a prosecutor, to be assigned to negotiate and outline the DOJ legal terms of investigative compliance. The person negotiating the terms for cooperation would not be the Inspector General because the potential for criminal charges related to the investigated individuals, it would be the job of a DOJ career prosecutor to comply with legal needs. Number three, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Bruce and Nellie Orr, and Bill Priestap have quotes inside of the HPSCI memos. Those quotes come from the investigative interviews. No congressional committees has interviewed those persons. Okay? That comes from investigative interviews. Those would be the few of the people in the number two above, and their testimony to Horowitz and the DOJ prosecutor would make them witness in a criminal investigation. That explains why they have not given interviews to congressional committees. The DOJ needs to keep the integrity of their testimony inside the investigative unit, i.e., in the control of the DOJ official from outside of Washington that Jeff Sessions had noted. Number four, President Trump is the chief executive over the DOJ and FBI. However, in this odd dynamic, he is also the victim, within the conspiracy as potentially outlined by the investigation. Therefore, again, to protect the integrity of the investigation and witness testimony, the victim would be kept at arm's length and not informed of the criminal investigation. So maybe it's not something just for plausible deniability. Maybe it's just a legal matter. You're the victim of the investigation. You can't know what's going on.
Right.
Okay, especially if he's the one that has purview over the entire thing in the executive branch. That's why POTUS, President of the United States, Trump, doesn't know, and AG Sessions must keep distance from any discussion with the executive due to this separation. And continues, the last one. Number 5, cooperating witness testimony in a criminal investigation also means Congress would not know of the details. Congress means Nunes, Gowdy, Goodlatte wouldn't even know a criminal investigation was opened. The prosecutor works parallel with but separate from the IG investigation. Congress would know of the IG but not the prosecutor. This interview by AG Sessions is the first indication Congress would have had of a DOJ official already looking at the criminal issues. And most apparent reason that we know that there's a DOJ prosecutor already on the case is because Jeff Sessions already said there was. So there you go. Now, it goes on and on a little bit more. I would definitely imagine it's a really amazingly put together thing here. And I'm going to put this in the show notes. I've already started logging all of the links. It's going to be easier for me to do it now. I know I've been dropping the ball. But in either case, that goes on, and I want to go off to the next thing now here. Now we have something over here, Town Hall. Town Hall, Katie Pavlich. Ready for this? DOJ announces Fast and Furious documents withheld by Eric Holder will be released. This is a short one. The Department of Justice announced Wednesday additional documents related to the Operation Fast and Furious scandal during the Obama administration. One of those scandals that never happened, by the way.
Right.
Will be released to the House Oversight Committee. The documents were previously withheld by Attorney General Eric Holder, who was voted in civil and criminal contempt of Congress for refusing to turn them over. President Obama invoked executive privilege in June of 2012 to prevent their release just hours before the contempt vote was held. Well, of course you have to prevent the release. A, it's going to make you look bad, period. And B, you're trying to go up for re-election in a couple of months. Quote, the Department of Justice under my watch is committed to transparency and the rule of law. This settlement agreement is an important step to make sure that the public finally receives all the facts related to Operation Fast and Furious, Attorney General Jeff Sessions released in a statement. The department stated that the document release is part of the conditional settlement agreement filed in federal court in Washington, D.C., and would end 6 years of litigation arising around the previous administration's refusal to produce documents requested by the committee. During an interview with Fox and Friends Tuesday, the brother of slain Border Patrol agent Brian Terry called up on the Trump administration to reopen the investigation into the operation and release previously withheld documents. Quote, we need to find out the truth, exactly what happened, how it happened, and why it happened. We need Mr. Trump, President Trump, to unseal the documents, reverse executive privilege so that we know what happened and that we can hold the people accountable that are responsible, Kent Terry said. Terry was murdered by Mexican cartel RIP crew members in December of 2010. They were carrying guns illegally trafficked by the ATF to Mexico through the Fast and Furious program. Operation Fast and Furious was a secret ATF program overseen heavily at the highest levels of the Department of Justice, which took place between September of 2009 and December of 2010. ATF agents repeatedly and knowingly allowed individuals working for Mexican cartels to traffic thousands of AK-47s, 50 caliber rifles, and handguns into Mexico. The operation ended in 2010 when Agent Terry was murdered and years of cover-up surrounding his death and the extent of the operation ensued. Hundreds, if not thousands, of Mexican citizens have been murdered as a result of the U.S. government putting guns into the hands of narco-terrorists, and a number of firearms trafficked during the operation have been found at additional crime scenes in the United States. Not only that, you might remember it been getting around there. Go look up, put up some searches of Fast and Furious weaponry, ATF, and Judicial Watch. Judicial Watch reported on this, I forgot how long ago, but after the Paris,
Absolutely,
the concert.
Yeah, right. With the Eagles of Death Metal.
That's it.
Right.
The Eagles of Death Metal, they played there.
Bataclan.
It was November of 2015.
Right.
And Judicial Watch, they had been on the case for a while that one of the guns used in the Paris attack there at the Eagles of Death Metal show was traced back to Phoenix.
Wow.
To one of the arms dealers that was involved in the Fast and Furious program. So you're talking about
that's a little interesting, huh?
Yeah.
It would get all the way over here, Europe, and then Mexico, MS-13.
Sounds to me like the government is a lot more irresponsible with firearms than citizens are.
Well, it's right. It also sounds like there's a coordinated link that maybe that this is coming out as part of that controlled demolition that we're talking about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And now here's the other thing I want to go around to there. Actually, I had the Judicial Watch here thing. I had gotten this before. Imagine that. I'll put that in the link for tonight. But now here's the other thing that comes around. QAnon on March 8th. Okay?
That's today.
Right. Says, do you trust Sessions? Boom. Q. Yeah, I do, and this is huge shit right here.
So far, I still trust Jeff Sessions.
I do.
I've been cautiously optimistic, but I haven't wavered on that yet.
Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg with the Q stuff. Do you think we should go on a quick break and come back and just go full, clean slate with the rest of it?
I'm along for the ride, man. Whatever you want to do.
All right, let's do that. 7:35, and I've got to say some thank yous. Oh, the first thank you I got to say is for Klaus Smith and Christine Lewis. I've been trying to send you guys thank you emails for your contributions, but they've been bouncing back, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. But in either case, we need to get around to saying some real thank yous here. All right? If you like the show, do me a favor. Go on to iTunes and search Quite Frankly, and then give it a like and some stars and write a review. That really helps out a lot. And the show is on all major platforms, including SoundCloud, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, and more. And we are now on Steemit, we're on DTube, we're on BitChute, we're streaming on Periscope, on Twitch, all that good stuff. Please, by all means, go do that. And for those of you watching live right now, go ahead, put your nipple piercings in, and have a ball.
Tuck your dick between your legs.
It is International Women's Day.
There you go. Perfect with this song.
So
this is the Silence of the Lambs song, right?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Yes, this is Buffalo Bill's song.
Right.
And now we know that even men are women, so...
Yeah, I learned that from watching your show.
Buffalo Bill has been vindicated all these years later.
Men could have uteruses.
He didn't have to skin any of those people. All he had to do was join the military and request surgery.
Yeah.
What an idiot. He should have just waited a couple of decades. We've progressed. Okay, so there you go. And for those of you who really enjoy the show, please become a patron. Go to patreon.com/Quite Frankly. It's an original live show 5 nights a week for free, and you can voluntarily pledge your support with a number of fun reward tiers to choose from. Easy peasy, just like that. And there you go. You can become my boss at patreon.com/Quite Frankly. It only takes $1 a month to get you into the nightly roll call video, which means $25 a week and $12 a year. That's all it is. Okay? It gets you a spot. And for all of you who do not like the monthly model, then by all means, go check out Patreon. I mean PayPal. PayPal.me/Quite Frankly. And the Super Chats. You guys all get your own video you're about to see right now. Big hats off to ODA0216, all of our operators in the field, our men and women of uniform, our first responders. When we come back, we're going to be talking a lot more Q and all the dark places it may be leading. It's going to be interesting. Be right back.
Welcome to Intermission. Yeah, Intermission. Yeah, Intermission.
What does Marcellus Wallace look like? What? What country you from? What? What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what? What? English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Yes. Then you know what I'm saying. Yes. Describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like. What? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time. He's black. Go on. He's bald. Does he look like a bitch? What? Pew. Does he look like a bitch? No! Then why you try to fuck him like a bitch, Brent? Yes, you did.
You're tuned in to Quite Frankly. We're met... You're tuned into Quite Frankly, where men are made and pussies are destroyed.
You were tuned in to Quite Frankly, where men are made and bagels are destroyed.
Well, I'm sorry I can't be more optimistic, Doctor, but we have a long road ahead of us. Like having sex. It's a painstaking, arduous task that seems to go on and on forever, and just when you think things are going your way, nothing happens.
Hi, I'm Moonlit Matt, and you're watching Quite Frankly. Remember to take those pants off and to pause the show before you call in. I swear to God.
Oh. I bet you this would have been a much different show if we didn't have that connection problem in the beginning. That's the kind of shit I live with every day, Rob.
Yeah, man.
Little things that change the entire trajectory of a broadcast. This would have been
perils of a live show.
Absolutely.
It's all right.
Yeah, we could have pre-recorded this and given you a nice polished nugget, but instead you get real life. All right, so Q. But there's no England now. No? It's just some weird thing. Okay, so March 8th, I mean, we had this today about, with Q saying, boom, do you trust Jeff Sessions? Now, March 7th, this is very odd over here. Listen to this. Well, very interesting, I should say.
Just to get to backtrack a little. Today, boom, do you trust Jeff Sessions? Do you think that's referring to what just happened at 7 o'clock?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean, with North Korea?
With North Korea.
Oh, this was...
Or these different...
No.
Okay.
The March 8th post was at 8:46 p.m. a.m. in the morning.
Right, but I mean, obviously, they knew that something was going to go on.
I think it might be the town hall thing that we were talking about.
Okay, all right.
You have Fast and Furious, and
that's okay. So
and the first thing that we're talking about.
So that makes sense too, especially if it's just a brick, layer. You know what I mean? A card that's being pulled.
Right.
Because he dropped 5 of them, booms. Right. So
there's a lot of it. There's a boom there, right there.
That's a boom.
But see, now the other thing, since we had to restart the computer, that entire window that we had opened up with all that shit.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna have to go dig that up and do that myself now.
Oh.
But here's the 7th. I confess, this is Q is responding to somebody. I confess I was an Internet Bill of Rights resistor. This has been popping up a lot lately. I have friends who are anti-net neutrality that are pro-Internet Bill of Rights. But the thing is that when I go looking for this shit, I don't find anything on it. It sounds like it's a pie-in-the-sky idea. The only thing that I have actually found, details on about what people foresee as an Internet Bill of Rights is the inability for tech companies to mine data anymore.
Right. And to keep your privacy.
Right. Absolutely. So, I mean, I don't know. It seems very innocuous and weird, and I don't understand. But it showed up in Q. Listen to this. Somebody says, I confess, I was an Internet Bill of Rights resistor. It didn't make sense to me since free speech is already guaranteed in our Constitution. But thinking logically, the one thing that would scare the data mining cabal the most is an articulated right to privacy when using the internet. No more data mining for ads. No more algorithms screwing up how we communicate with others on Facebook. By the way, you see Facebook is kind of freaking out. They had a 24% dip in people using it.
Really?
I want it to bottom out.
Yeah, I mean, I never used it.
Want it to bottom out so that all that's left are all of our aunts and uncles. And they're like, well, this isn't fun anymore. Where all the kids go? Let's see here. Oh, God. No more data mining for ads. No more algorithms screwing up how we communicate with others on Facebook. No more capturing my favorite soda to sell to a competitor who might want to make me buy something else. And also, really important to me, is the right to be forgotten. It's already been adjudicated in Britain. Here's a bit of the detail. Now, it's a Guardian post that we won't get into right now. But they conclude by saying we should have the right to disappear. So if this continues to be a thing, think of it way beyond being censored for free speech. Think of it in terms of privacy too. No more selling personal information. No more dedicated IPs to track your every move. No more email apps that pre-select your possible replies, because no more email being mined. Mail could be configured with the same privacy rights as U.S. mail, for example. Last, I'll post on this one. But if it goes forward, please consider expanding the scope. Also, keep in mind that there is more than the White House petition site to make your ideas known. Most of us have senators and congressmen to represent us in Washington, D.C. Maybe talk to a real person. Q responds, free speech does not apply in a private company's setting, which is true, absolutely. And I ask, what's the risk of that? The risk is the current situation. You know, in a company, if a company like Google wants to be able to make their product good and better,
their product are the users.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly, but but their platform, if they want to make their platform good so that the users are able to maximize the effectiveness of it, there's no reason why, when you have those hundreds of thousands of subscribers and you go live and only a fraction of a fraction get a notification that you went live, wouldn't you?
I still don't get notifications when your show goes on.
It's obvious that very many people don't.
Right.
Okay, so there's that. But still, they say, what's the risk? They say, Q continues, loss of revenue, backstopped by the circus, learn, social media control is everything. The age of the mainstream media is over. I agree. Okay, I agree on that. But as far as the Internet Bill of Rights, I can't make two ways about it.
Well, I think they tried to get a certain number of petitions on an initial draft, and it fell short. Correct?
I'm not sure.
I thought that's where we were at with it, or somebody was trying to draft something, but it's gonna have to come back around again, right? I mean, if that's what it's being alluded to.
It will have to.
Right.
Now we're jumping over here to March 6th now, in the Q map, right? There are some things that you wanted to bring up in particular. We saw it before, and now it's not there. Hold on. So the first thing here, Rob, let me know when you see it. First of all, there's a lot of North Korean drops on here on March 6th.
2 days ago.
That's it. Where the hell we at? Double meanings. Nope, that's not it. Calm down, everybody. just enjoy yourselves. We had all of this ready to go.
This would have been so smooth.
All right, here we go.
There's
here we go. So now here we go on the 6th. Is the stage set for the drop of an HRC plus raw vid 5:5 ratio? And they're talking about a video here, or it's something that looks like they're alluding to a video. They continue. We have it all. Reread stage. The nail in many coffins. Liberals undo. Impossible to defend. Toxic to those connected. We must work together. We are only as strong as your voice. You must organize and be heard. This is why they keep you divided and in the dark. We are here to unite and provide truth. Dark to light. Evil surrounds us. We're fighting. Choice to know will be yours. End. Now, stage is set for a drop of HRC. What the hell? Now, going back to what we said earlier in this broadcast, what would be something that the average progressive voter would not be able to ignore, like they ignored the DNC leaks, like they will probably ignore all of these
just
indictments.
Just a bunch of emails.
It's just
some emails, whatever.
Who cares?
Right.
You know, or even when push comes to shove, and they are faced with the fact that the FBI and DOJ were weaponized to take on Trump, there's people out there who will even say, "Listen,
everyone does that. They all do that."
Or they were right.
I've heard that
they were right in their pursuit. Trump is a menace.
Right.
Or now that we're seeing that the Russian infiltration was so pervasive, they had 13 people tweeting about the election. You know?
Right.
So with all of this Russian interference going on, could it have been something where they had no choice but to pursue it? You know, they got tricked into investigating Donald Trump. Who the hell knows?
Right.
But what would be able to trump all of that?
Well, I think if you look at the whatever you call it, message or drop or whatever you call these, again, here, go back up. I can't see that thing.
What, down?
Down. You know, up, down. You know what I mean.
Okay.
We should be able to be there, but at this
go.
time, you know. Evil surrounds us, right? We're fighting for you. The choice to know will be yours, right? So I think that anyone that's been involved in this is already good. Minds are going to go to Pizzagate, right? And some type of child-related activities going on. So, you know, people on the message boards, you know, speculation was abound of what that means, right? So HRC, so if you do the pluses, you could see HRC. I mean, again, how do you interpret what the pluses mean? I don't know. But somebody put up there, it fits HRC plus child. Raw video 5:5. Now, maybe that's a stretch of things, speculation, but somebody else was mentioning that there was a still frame released and then scrubbed and gone, and then those numbers there, raw vid 5:5, correspond to a timestamp that was on there. Now, again, I have no idea if that was even released or if it's true. But if we go back to what's his name, Eric Prince from Blackwater.
Yep.
I mean, you know, he was mentioning, and when did he mention that? That was it October of last year?
It was probably around October 27th of 2016. We're days away.
A year and change, away. Mentioning that, you know, old school New York City detectives were crying and destroyed about what they found on his laptop. All right?
Wiener's laptop.
On Wiener's laptop.
Right.
So then if we go back into, so is that what it is? I mean, that's evil.
Well,
and this is something that is not speculation. I mean, how many arrests have we had already in child trafficking? It's not reported on mainstream media, but there's been thousands. We know that this is a real thing. So then if you look at the other things he put up there, were from the WikiLeaks, right?
Which points are we getting to right here? Wait, let me see here. Boom. Can you reveal it? Can you catch it? No, that's not it.
It was something with whatever has got to have a link on there.
Oh, yeah, we had two links.
Two links to, to WikiLeaks for Hillary's email. You know, just the emails, not a big deal.
You know,
between her and Cheryl Mills.
And back to Eric Prince real quick. You know what's very interesting over the last couple of days is that both Weinstein, the NYPD, and Eric Prince are back in the news.
Yes.
NYPD is ready to make an arrest on Weinstein on rape charges, whatever, but we also know the connection that he has with the Clintons.
Absolutely.
And we read that blog post from Kathy O'Brien.
Right.
where she described how when she and Mark were going to have a meeting with Harvey Weinstein because he wanted to buy the rights to her story, especially as it pertains to the Clintons and whatnot, and he was pretty much upping it. You were talking about hundreds of millions of dollars of a quote so that she would not be able to talk about her story anymore, which involved her claims in all of her books involved sexual contact with Hillary Clinton.
She names Hillary Clinton in her book as sexually abusing her, and
she describes her genitalia too.
Right. Well, Kathy was genitally mutilated, right, and that it was something of a turn on for Hillary. But okay, fine. But you can't just say things like that in print. Hillary's a lawyer. You don't think she would sue her for libel? And nothing ever came of it. But these leaks between her and between the links here between her and Cheryl Mills are pretty interesting in that they both are in regards to child trafficking in Haiti. And we know the Clinton Foundation and their involvement there after the earthquake. So
I'm looking at it right here. This is
so that's from Hillary to Cheryl Mills.
January 22nd, 2010. And this was, as predicted.
As predicted. So they knew some heat was coming down about the child trafficking over there.
UN has warned countries not to step up adoptions from Haiti in the wake of the disaster. United Nations officials say children have gone missing from hospitals in Haiti since the devastating January 12th earthquake, raising fears of trafficking for adoptions abroad. Quote, we have documented around 15 cases of children disappearing from hospitals and not with their own family at the time, said UNICEF advisor Jean-Luc Legrand.
So kidnapping children is what they're talking about.
So saying, well, as expected, this was going to happen.
Right, as expected. We got a little bit of fire to put out.
Now, this is February 1st of 2010. This is from Cheryl Mills to Hillary Clinton. Haiti Prime Minister, U.S. Baptist knew moving kids was wrong. So release in full from, she says, FYI, Port-au-Prince. Haiti's prime minister says it's clear to him that the 10 U.S. Baptists who tried to take 33 Haitian children out of the quake-ravaged country knew that what they were doing was wrong. Prime Minister Max Bellarive says. Also tells the Associated Press his country is open to having the Americans tried in the United States, and there you go. So that's continuing.
Right. And this was that in regards to the kids actually being in Dominican Republic at the time, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we have two emails on Hillary's private server in regards to child trafficking in Haiti, right?
Right.
We have an allusion, which it could be a video is out where there's, no, you can't disprove it unless then you see this other thing and fake video. Right?
Now, I want to preface this a little bit because we had talked about the fake video stuff. Now, everybody went to what are they jumping to now? Well, what Q seems to be getting around to is that there is going to be an undeniable drop of something that has to do with the trafficking, abuse, and sexual exploitation of children in a way that even Democrats, rank and file,
no human being is going to side with that. You know?
And to see that this is what has infested the party. And it's going to, in both parties, to be honest.
Right.
But to be honest, it really will go hand in hand as to why society has gotten so perverse, why it's gotten so, very, very uncomfortable as far as it's disconnected from reality in many ways. The way that we talk about things and the people who have platforms in this country right now and are talking day in day in about socio-political thing, whether it's the sexual freedom or the destigmatization of pedophilia, which is on the increase. It is increasing.
Oh, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And that shit needs to be shut down immediately.
But a couple of months ago, we were talking about how the porn industry and celebrities and all that, they were all getting a little bit up in a tizzy because there was new technology out there to take the face of a celebrity or somebody and superimpose them onto one of the two actors or group of actors having sex in a pornographic film. Like this would create a whole new black market of porn, where if you wanted to see Penelope Cruz get her ass banged out, you can just pretty much order her being superimposed into a film, and boom, there all of a sudden there is a Penelope Cruz sex tape out there.
Right.
That is it creates all this kind of stuff. Now, New York Times digs this up. On March 4th of 2018, they're talking about it now. Here comes the fake videos 2. So not just fake news.
Right.
Artificial intelligence video tools make it relatively easy to put one person's face on another person's body with a few traces of manipulation. I tried it on myself. What could go wrong? Now, Q shared this screenshot from New York Times and says, try as they might, fail they will. There will be no free passes. Right. And in brackets puts MSM. Because we know, I mean, there's rumors all over the place, and they're just rumors. I know that talking about rumors on YouTube can get you thrown off, but I have seen some pretty sick shit just with, Anderson Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
And things, so there's lots of stuff out there. You have to imagine that fellow travelers are everywhere, especially in the media. There's a lot at stake.
I mean, everything's at stake. I mean, this is it's an interesting time to be alive.
But that's where it's been going, man. So we started off with Jeff Sessions. Everybody, whether or not he's on track. Well, we know that there's a few things moving and shaking right now on Fast and Furious, alongside of Michael Horowitz and what's going on there. Things that the average person who's just dealing with everyday issues are not going to see. Thankfully, we have people like the people working at Conservative Treehouse and all the pundits on and the analysts on Twitter who have sprung up in this last year, who have been paying attention to the details and have been putting things together. It's really been amazing.
Well, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about this, the Pizzagate, Pedogate thing? Do you feel that it's a valid thing, or you just trying to...
Valid in what arena? It's not valid anywhere else.
No, valid in that, you know what I mean? That children are used in this manner. Now,
we say Pizzagate, Pedogate just to make, when you say something like Pizzagate, Pedogate...
Right, well, okay, it shouldn't be Pizzagate anyway. Pedogate, you know what I mean? Whatever Babylonian death cult that is, collecting children for whatever this thing is. I mean, my mind is blown, right? And I'm sure most people, normal people, are going to have their mind blown, which speaks to the importance of what you were talking about with Jeff Sessions before. Because if it turns out that they're running guns that ended up killing Americans, right, or that are being used all over the world, that's enough to bring the House of Cards down. Right? And then I don't know if it's an aside, by the way, this is happening too. But if you lead with this, people are going to automatically, because of the nature of the subject, just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to deal with it.
Well, first of all, running guns to these, as they call them, narco-terrorists, running guns to these people who really are running the streets in Mexico. There are loose affiliations with the federales down there, but I mean, these are people who are killing Mexican civilians who are well-to-do and just want to live in peace. So the drug cartels down there, if you're talking about running them drugs or running them guns, and of course we know that there's probably a lot of black partnerships between the actual drug running as well too, at least in the past, and if you're giving them all of these AK-47s, thousands of them, we also know that these are the same cartels and coyotes that are engaging in human trafficking every day. You're also emboldening these people to be able to run human lives and rape little children as they're coming over the border and killing some of them. In fact, you're emboldening these people, giving them more resources. So it's not just about a pie-in-the-sky, ridiculous plan about giving thousands of guns to terrorists, pretty much, and drug dealers. and trying to track the guns to find them and arrest. It's the stupidest idea in the world.
Right.
And not only did it go wrong because it's a dumb idea, but it emboldened these people who are actually playing a huge part in major international trafficking.
Right. But, you know, it's been a thing that, I want to say, it stirs something, you know what I mean? This has been this thing for, and I'm not new to it, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, you walk your life, and I've seen stuff, you know? So, it was never a question for me, the if it was real or not. But, you know, you went from, if you believe that, it's totally crazy, this, that, and the other thing, and I think we're still not at the point where the average everyday person can accept that these things are going on, and not only are they going on, but they're happening by people that have, you know, that you're supposedly trustworthy, you know. But it has to, if this is the reality, it has to come out. I mean, we're gonna have to deal with this at some point. So, I mean, I noticed like
it's gonna have to overpower the hashtag Pizzagate, though.
Well,
it's been turned into such a fucking joke.
Right. Well, that was the damage control that they did on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you look into like the Pizzagate and like all those Twitter accounts with those pictures on there, you know, did you ever see the other picture? It was like, I don't know if it was Alephantis or somebody else. It was somebody in drag, like fisting some guy, and he had no shirt on and like his underwear, and it said Pizzagate on there, and it's like, I hate these haters or something like that, like mocking it, like throwing it in your face, right? But this is gonna be something that's gonna have to be dealt with. I mean, this is gonna like cause. I mean, to quote Q again, right? Like, how many a large portion of people would end up in the hospital? Like, this would break people for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this was a process to come to this. So, eventually, I mean, when you had David Seaman on, so I shouldn't even say his name because now you're gonna get trolled in the chat room.
Whatever.
He likes to make money, right?
Yeah.
But he said it right on this show. It would, the thread of Western civilization will fall apart, right?
You pull on that sweater, unravels the whole thing.
Right.
Well, like, where do you stop? Where is this? Where is like the, you know, like when Otis elevators, they were the first ones to put in the fail-safe that would stop a elevator in free fall.
Mm-hmm.
Where is, you know, are we going down like a submarine? Do we have to sit and depressurize and all that
I
stuff?
think so. Yeah.
At certain depths before we go deeper. What happens?
Right.
And is that enough? Is it enough for Donald Trump to put that apparatus in place for anything meaningful to be done by the end of 4 years? And if he does get elected in 2020, is 8 years only? Is 8 years going to be enough to set this in place so that it reverses before the rats come back in? I don't know.
Well, you know, I don't know the answers either. I know that these things need to be exposed. You know, I know you're drawing like different people from all around now, right? Because, you know, you've been on Tracy Beans, SG&T, a lot of great things that you're making connections with. And I've noticed on some of the comments on YouTube, people will mention things like, I love the show, you're great, you're funny, I love the music, but, you know, I can't deal with the cursing, right? Like, or like a little bit of the other stuff you put out there, and it's like, oh, that's too vulgar, you're affecting my vibration, you're doing this. And it's like, and I'll see the people that comment on that, but they'll also comment on these things of like what we're talking about now. So it's like, all right, you don't want him to curse or anything like that, but do you understand what the reality is at the moment, and you're worried about some curse words?
That's why I can't.
Right? And then when you throw some funny stuff on there, like levity, you know what I mean? That's really important too.
It's important to laugh.
It's really important because the stuff we're really talking about here is, you know, people's faces are going to melt.
Yeah, man. It's going to be the end of Indiana Jones.
Exactly. Everyone's just going to see the Ark of the Covenant. That's it.
That's it. Keep your eyes shut. You know, but in this case, do we have to look? I guess we have to.
Well, I mean, that's how are we going to know? How are we going to know? You can't make that available if there's an actual video. You can't have people watching that, right? Would you click on that link?
No. But wait a second. Here's the other thing. How on earth do you get people to believe it?
I know.
How on earth do you get people to believe it if they can't see, you know?
So maybe that's
something-
what he was in that one that you just read. The choice to know will be yours. You know.
So there's going to be a time when this drops.
How else are you going to get people to, you know, we've already had people come out and say, I was a victim of satanic ritual abuse. I've been here. We had Kathy O'Brien. There's been other whistleblowers on this. And they're relegated to like the Sally Jesse Raphael show, you know? So there's going to have to be something that's more that really hits hard. I don't know. I mean, a video, and then it's going to be like, you know, obviously things are blurred out. Man, did you ever, when Pizzagate popped off, did you, and they supposedly hacked the, you know, what was it, Comet Pizza's
Instagram?
No,
else?
the menu, and they found like stuff, encryption on there, and there was no pictures or anything, but it was basically like a menu of what was there, and it just describing some of the things there that like I was just like,
when they're talking about walnut sauce and things like that.
No, man, they weren't talking about walnut sauce. They were talking about like, I don't even want to say it, right? You know what I mean? But horrific things. Just words, no pictures or anything. But what some of the videos contained that they were selling. You know? Yeah, there was code and everything like that. But I mean, there was straight out like, you know, 8-year-old, and then they would say something about dismemberment and stuff. Like, again, I don't even want to give the words out there. You know, and so that, and like I said, I'm not new to this. Okay,
That's and that was confirmed from the.
How I mean, confirm. How are you going to confirm it? You know what I mean?
How do you confirm that? Yeah, well,
I don't know. I'm the wrong person to talk to with that. I have zero technical knowledge. You know, I mean, I know what I read.
Glenn Mann in the chat room says Q drop tomorrow for my birthday. He says tomorrow. Well, happy birthday, Glenn. I'm watching everybody. Renee Fagan says child snuff films.
Yeah. You know, like I said, I'm not new to it. You know what I mean? As far as being aware of certain things, and you know, like I said, it's very real because you live your life and you see things, right?
Yeah.
So even then, just reading what was on that menu, like I had to take pause. You know, just reading words.
When it was going on, I had bookmarked quite a few master posts that I had found on Tumblr. People were putting things together that were pages and pages long.
Right.
We saw all of the analyzation of the emails, all of the code words, you know, the background behind them, input from law enforcement people who have specialization in these kinds of circles and the way that they communicate.
Right, symbols that were all
very,
over
very
these
odd.
Twitter, Instagram accounts. Just flat out pictures. You see the one with the little girl taped up to a desk and stuff?
Absolutely.
Or the other ones with like the Podesta emails, the naming the kids that'll be in the pool.
The artwork is just so disturbing.
Well,
in there.
horrific.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Now, the only thing that holds people back is because this seems to have partisan implications. That I can't stand that.
How can there be partisan anything? This has nothing to do with. These are just human condition. You know, it's partisan.
I don't know.
I can't even think of a word right now.
And here's the thing that gets me. We're in a space right now in our society's development where being abused or being some kind of a victim is a badge of honor. People are flat out lying about times that they were abused right now just to be part of something.
Right.
So you would think that right now, where everybody's willing to believe anything that people say about abuse and the depravity of mankind and how they prey on the weak, how they prey on women, on children, all that stuff, and boys, on men. I mean, Hollywood, the Hollywood meat grinder has consumed grown, muscular black men.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about women and who can be bullied in a basement somewhere. You know, this is serious, and we're all looking around this, and everybody's wearing a different color pin on every goddamn award show, and we're all, you know, sitting there solemn and all of this stuff, humbled by how people are coming forward with their story, and nobody can believe that there are rings of these because the people who might be implicated are party bosses or they have politics that they want to stand behind, and they'll say, oh no, that's ridiculous, you're just a Republican or you're just a Democrat or this. Are you fucking serious? So we have to go and watch every award show from last year and this year, be sanctimonious about uncovering abuse, but you're going to laugh when you say that there are rings of people who are abusing children. You should all believe. They should be the first to believe this.
I know. But this is what we're gonna have to. You know what I mean? It sucks to talk about this, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
You know, it's necessary.
Very
to keep
interesting
it,
drops, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like bold stuff right now.
Yeah. You know.
I don't know. Whatchamacall, T in the chat room says, Frank, stop cursing. My ears hurt. So
Yeah.
I can't.
I know. People are worried about you. He said shit or something like that.
It's all over.
Meanwhile, we're talking about, the end of the world.
It really is.
You know?
If you think about it, it is, because it's the end of the world as we know it. I mean, you have to, and you think about the depths of this. If it goes as deep as people are putting together the evidence and insinuating, then it really is going to be one of those BC AD moments where it's going to be everything before the Great Fall.
Yeah.
And everything after the Great Fall. To realize that for decades, for generations, we were living on top of this reality, separated by a very thin veil. Very thin veil that we couldn't see beyond.
Right. Well, there's some bleed-throughs going on right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's when the hauntings start, the bleed-throughs, when you start seeing things that used to be completely separated by another... I have no clue.
Another layer.
Yeah, man.
Well.
But let's see. That's very interesting. So what did we do tonight? Let's think about it. Went back to the beginning. We had a little bit of talk about Stormy Daniels. I'm going to have to paste all that together. And then talked about Jeff Sessions. What's going on in the DOJ? What's going on? All the things that people said is not happening is actually might be happening in accelerated ways that nobody could ever have thought of. And how that all ties into Q. The first segue was Q asking, do you trust Jeff Sessions?
Yeah.
And then analyzing some of the things that Q's been saying just within the last 48 hours. It's been a very, very busy thing. He's also been publishing thoughts about North Korea.
Right.
Things that we see coming to a head right as we launch this broadcasting.
Right. So
coming to a head right now, things that he said that were coming 2 days ago, or winking, at least. So we did a lot of stuff. It was very spread out, a lot of things to take in. And then, of course...
It's heavy stuff, but, necessary. But we're going to do the broadcast on Saturday night.
Here's the big thing.
Which will not be heavy.
Exactly. And you know what? I guess I'll save all of this because I have Yahoo. Scientists says that they found fossilized alien footprints on Mars, and they blame NASA for covering it up. We have the Pentagon gearing for a space warfare, says the Free Beacon. And, of course, a few other things, too. And I'm thinking that would be perfect for Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
So, everybody, just to expand on what Rob is saying, because we missed out on last night's show because of the snow, and because we hit a major benchmark on Patreon, which mandates me to have at least one midnight broadcast a month, Saturday night, March 10th. That is your midnight broadcast. So Saturday night, midnight, going into Sunday, the 11th. That is when we're going to be doing. So we're going to have tomorrow night's Friday night show, and Saturday night, midnight, Sunday morning, which actually we might be on the air as
the daylight savings,
as the spring forward.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So,
but I think we're gonna have to have a hookah, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
hookah, and we're going to have to pregame beforehand.
Pregame. Does that mean you're gonna have your half a drink or no?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, speaking of half a drink, we have a lot of great listeners in Australia as well. One of our listeners out there, Sarah.
I've seen her in the comments. Yeah. it's awesome.
she's a beast. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She had sent an Australian care package out to us. A whole bunch of.
Was there a boomerang in it?
No, but there was chocolate. There was Vegemite. I haven't had the Vegemite yet.
It's disgusting.
I
don't eat it.
heard it is disgusting, but I heard that
I've eaten it one time. I mean, I was in high school. I don't know. Maybe they make it better now.
She told me to smear it on toast and stuff, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
but
try your finger first.
Okay.
Ruin a piece of bread.
Don't ruin the toast. But what she also sent me was this bottle opener. Now, this bottle opener looks really funky, right? Look at this bottle opener.
Yeah, it looks like a brush you could for the shaving cream.
Exactly.
You should shave with that, Frank.
Yeah, I should. Guess what? This is a bottle opener that is attached to a real kangaroo scrotum. This is a kangaroo ball sack right here. Okay? And now I said, what the fuck is this? And then I read it was a kangaroo scrotum. I'm like, what? Lauren was like, get this out. Get this out of the house. Get it. No, she didn't. She just laughed. She's like, well, what do you know? I said, I think I'll take this to the studio. She said, okay. But it was on the kitchen table for a little while. This is the funny part here. It was on the kitchen table for a little while. And, of course, the cat goes and inspects everything.
I know your cat, yes.
So now I was in the other room. I was working on some stuff. It was over the weekend. And all of a sudden, I hear some rustling in the kitchen. And I walk into the kitchen, and the cat has its head inside of the care package box. Like, what the hell are you looking at? So I go over there to get a better look at what she's obsessed with. She was licking the balls.
Wow.
I had to get in touch with Lauren. I sent her a text message that says, you're not going to believe this. Get in touch with me whenever you get a chance. So she voxed me. And I said, so I went into the kitchen. I heard some rustling in there. And I caught your daughter licking the kangaroo balls that one of my viewers had sent us. And she said, what? Said, Lila.
I think Sarah Battle has to either call in or write on. What's the deal with this? This is like an Australian custom or something like that, or is it just like a goof? You know what I mean? Like you're just doing like a thing. Oh, I guess it's got kangaroo balls.
We have the rabbit foot.
We have the rabbit foot.
We have the rabbit foot.
They have the kangaroo scrotum.
I guess they have the kangaroo balls. Everybody's just so. There you go. So I'm going to leave the kangaroo nuts right here.
Nice.
It's going to be sitting on top of the on-air sign, right in front of Larry. See, Larry and Louise, they have some flow to them right now, but not as good. Whatever. Larry's all over the place. So there you go. Legacy Rant says, you have an imposter in the chat, quite frankly. A little man in the basketball football jersey, Dan Spratlin. He's acting like the intellectual behemoth known as Legacy Rant. Oh, shit. Well, Legacy, tomorrow night is Friday night. You got to call in and you got to drop some bombs. And by the way, let's go to King's response to Dan Spratlin. Actually, let's go to Dan Spratlin first. Let's just review here. Okay, here's Dan Spratlin. Ready?
You're tuned in to Quite Frankly. We're met.
You're tuned into Quite Frankly, where men are made and pussies are destroyed.
And now here is the King 40 Big Pump response.
Hello there. Well, I'm tired of being rejected by women, and I want to make myself seem smarter than I really am. I join my fellow eggheads on Quite Frankly.
There you go. Everybody joins their fellow eggheads on Quite Frankly. He even admits, he says, Frank, listen, no offense, but you're an egghead too. I'm like, all right, okay. So there you go. Yes, exactly, Big Irk. Larry's got his balls back. All right, everybody, I hope you all have a good night. Tomorrow night we have a good one, and another great one.
Yeah, good. You surpassed good a long time ago.
Sorry, man.
These are legendary.
These are legendary broadcasts.
Yeah, go down in the annals of history.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great one. Love y'all. Be well. And take it easy. Until tomorrow, here's some Harambe for you.